Welcome to this Jasper Self-Report video tutorial series. In this video, we're going to demonstrate on how to link your header to table elements. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. To start with, we're going to discuss first what are the tables we're going to use. So for this example, I'll be using this product as my header. So these are the fields that I'm going to use. So this is the product ID and product description. Then we're going to use the orders to be our content in our table elements. So using the product ID, I'm going to map that in this field here. Okay, so let's start. So to start with, I'm going to create a new file. Going to pick a blank A4, hit next. Going to save that in this product here. And going to name that as prod table. Hit next. In here, make sure you have already set up your adapter. So for mine, I already set up to sample DB database connection. So if you are on new connections or there's no selections for that, just hit this new and create a connection. Okay, so this time I'm going to pick that table. So let's work first with the header. So for the header, okay. So here, we can pick that in this manner. Let's say, usually we do perform here a select query. This time, I'm going to show you how the other way on how to pick this certain field. So to do that, need to click this diagram. Then need to drag the table. And from here, you're going to pick the fields that you want to display. So for the header, I'm going to pick this product ID and description. Then click next. For the fields, I'm going to first select the product ID and description. Hit next. For the group by, we don't need group by for this time. So let's skip that. Then hit finish. Okay, so right now we already have a clean table here, or reports. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up some more. So to do that, I'm going to remove the title. Okay, so I think that one's okay. Going to remove the column footer, page report, or page footer, and summary. Okay, so right now, we just leave the page header, column header, and detail one. So for the page header, I'm going to drag a static text here. So let's say, going to name this as product list. Okay, good. So we fix this first, just to make sure we have a nice presentation. And go ahead, set that to 16 or 24. Okay, good. Okay, now, since we're working on the header, we'll reserve the details for the table. So for the header, I'm going to drag these fields, these two fields, in the column header. So just click finish. So I'm going to drag here the product ID and the product description. Okay, so let's fix that. Enter this one. Let's make it bold. It's 12. Okay, so let's preview that. Okay, good. So this is the assorted one. Okay, so this is the assorted one. So let's, okay, maybe we should move that in the details so that we have a nice presentation for this one. So let's say like this. All right, let's try this one. Okay, good. So our objective here is we need to list down all the product lists. So now that we already set up this one, the next thing we need to do is we need to include the table element. Now, but before that, going to add a static text for here, just a header presentation for this one. So let's say, going to name that as prod ID. Okay, so this one should be description. Okay, let's review that. And there you go. Okay, cool. So I guess this one is okay. Okay, so I'm targeting is we're going to include a table that display the each content. Now, to make work, I would suggest we need to create a group presentation for here. So let's try working with the group. So from here, going to add a create group. So let's just keep that as group one. Next. So make sure you select the add group header and add group footer and click finish. Okay, cool. So our target is we need to create a certain group. So right now I can drag this in here, belong to group header. Okay. So for now, maybe we don't need this group footer. Can delete that. Okay, so that works. So let's preview for the last time. Okay. Okay, so okay, so let's work on that later on. So for now, what we need to do is we need to use now the table. So from here, we're going to drag this table element. Now, table element is a special type of component that you can make first, it's a group of fields in a table manner. Okay, so let's start. So here it requires a data set. So make sure we have a data set. So click next. For now, okay, we just simply select the first one because we don't have a data set. Just keep it as is, this data set. Or we can simply name that much better. So data set orders. Okay, next. For the adapter, we need to simply select the connection. Simply this one, because this one's already being used. That one is fine. Okay, for the test, for the data, we're going to need these orders. Okay, so simply fix the diagram, drag the orders, and from here, I'm going to pick the fields that we're going to show. So let's say I'm going to pick this order date, quantity, mm, customer ID. Okay, only 3 for now. So hit next. So for the fields, we need to select all the fields. Next, group by. So for the group by, we can skip that for now. We just select this, use the same JDB connection. Hit next. Table column. So we'll require everything. That's our for the table display. Hit next. Okay, from here, I'm going to change the content. Let's say okay, this one is good. Okay, and also we need to uncheck first this one. Add table header, add group header, and add table footer. So we only need to select on this add column header and column footer and hit finish. Very cool. So right now we're going to fix this one first. So here, I'm going to place that in this detail section. So I'm going to say align container center. Okay. Okay, resize. Okay. From here, we need to fix the size to container. I rather fix this to fit both. Okay, good. So that one works. Now we're going to modify this element here. So double click this table and it will bring you to this new tab. So from here, we can say we can right there. So we can pick that in this manner. 2 and 3. Okay, so as long this is selected, now we can proceed with the selection. So from here we can let's say size container, organize, top, align container, size component. That's weird. There's nothing in here. Let's check more. Fit text in element or let's see. Okay. So we have align, size component match with the width. Let's pick that. Nothing works. So let's say size component. Oh, maybe this one. Fit to width. Okay, we already do that. Okay, I'm looking for the components of the column. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Anyway, we're just going to drag this one. It's okay. So this one's here. One, 2, and 3. So you can simply drag that one. Okay. I think that's too far. So we need to Make it a little lower. So much fit here. So let's say let's try that. Okay. So let's try preview that. Okay, good. So right now, okay. So right now we are seeing this display here. Okay, cool. So let's fix this one for the last time. It seems it's already moved to a little closer. So let's fix the table. Okay, so let's do it once more. Okay, now it's aligned. So just make sure that everything's okay. Okay, so what happened here is it's going to replicate because for some cases, our header was belong to the or was placed in the group header. So let's try move that in the detail sections and see what will happen. So I'm after here is to make it more. Okay, it should be displayed equally. So let's try this one. Oops. Okay, so let's try it once more. Okay, assorted 2, and assorted 3. Okay, cool. So that's the one. So I'm thinking maybe the group here does not work very well. We can remove the group, so it's okay for now. So that we can maintain only the details. So I'm going to preview that. Okay, so now, okay, good. So we already have the set. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, now that we already fixed our preview, the next thing we need to do now is we need to link the header information to the table. So to do that, the next thing you need to do is we need to select these dataset orders. From here, we need to add parameters. Then we're going to create parameters. Then from our parameters, we need to name that as param prod ID. Okay. So in here, going to select this as integer. Why? Because our table, the product ID is in integer. So we need to filter by integer. Okay, so take note, we are working now on the dataset. So again, we're creating a parameters. Then from parameters, we create this param ID. Okay, after creating the parameters, head back to this table component by clicking this one. And then, let's say I'm going to move that a little closer. Okay, from this section, I need to click this dataset. And then lower to the dataset, you need to click these parameters. Okay. Now, under parameters, we need to click add. Then we need to select our parameters created a while ago. So our parameter is param prod ID. So take note. So this is the parameters that we set up in our dataset. Then we're going to map that with our header. So to do that, need to click this parameter expression, and we're going to bind that to our product ID. Okay, finish, and okay. So here we're mapping these param-prod parameters with the expression ID from the header. Then click finish. Of course, this won't work yet, simply because we need to modify our query in here. So before that, make sure we copy first our parameter. I'm going to copy this one. Then in our dataset here, right click to that, then click the dataset and query. Okay. So basically we need to apply that in our query. So from here, select all from this one, where, okay, I'm going to paste that param. So from here, I'm going to copy this where customer ID is equals to $P, this one. Okay. So I need to click rebuilds just to make sure no error. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to bind that parameters in the dataset query. So now we're mapping this customer ID. Oh, sorry, it's not the customer ID. So we're going to bind this product ID. So it should be product ID. So from here, going to name this as product ID. So now this is the relationship between the product and the header. So if everything's okay, just conclude. Then click OK. Now let's try. If we click preview, okay, let's expand this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, good. So right now, as you can see, we already mapped that to our header. So this are now belongs to this header link here. Same goes with the rest, with assorted 2, with this information, and assorted 3. Okay? Cool. So that's it, guys. Now, the very important is we need to only specify the parameters from the dataset. Then from that parameters, we're going to bind that with a header link. So you can apply this with as many as how many tables that you want to map. So as long the approach are the same, because everything relies on the header. So that's it. If you find this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. See you guys on the next video series. Cheers!